Steam has over 80,000 games. Some of the best hack-and-slash RPGs on the platform, completely buried. Today we're pulling 10 of them out of the grave. Games with 90+% ratings, real combat depth, and almost zero recognition. Let's get into it. Kicking off at number 10, DeathSpank. $14.99 for a hack-and-slash RPG written by Ron Gilbert, the mind behind Monkey Island, and it shows. DeathSpank is a self-important, loud-mouthed, justice-obsessed hero stumbling through a comic book world, and the humor lands way more often than it misses. The combat gives you a massive arsenal of melee and ranged weapons to cycle through, and leveling up lets you pick hero cards that shape your build in interesting ways. Players call the art a true work of art, hand-drawn style that still holds up 14 years later. It launched in 2010 as a quiet, downloadable title, got solid reviews, and then Steam just forgot about it. 94% positive from nearly 700 reviews. A genuinely funny action RPG that deserved better. Number 9, Fight Night. $20 for a first-person dungeon brawler where you punch your way up a massive tower. No swords, no spells, just fists. Grid-based dungeon exploration meets real-time combat, and it works beautifully. Every enemy has a distinct fighting pattern, and learning those patterns, timing your blocks, finding openings, feels genuinely rewarding. One reviewer nailed it. The mark of death for any indie game is when it feels entirely designed backwards from the mediocre pun in its title. But Fight Night clears that bar by a mile. The art style is quirky, the character cast is memorable, and the soundtrack is an absolute banger. Progression comes through collectibles and unlockables scattered across the tower's floors. 91% positive from 1,500 reviews, and almost nobody talks about it. At number 8, Stories: The Path of Destinies. $14.99 for an action RPG that turns branching narrative into a core mechanic. You play as Reynardo, a literal sword-wielding fox, hacking through a fairy tale world with snappy, responsive combat. But here's the hook: you're meant to fail. Each playthrough is short, and when you reach the end, you unlock a truth about the world. 4 truths, dozens of paths, and the real ending only opens once you've pieced them all together. A narrator reacts to your choices in real time, adjusting the story as you play. One player described it as handing you the pen, letting you mess up, and saying, "All right, try again, but smarter." Kotaku called it the Princess Bride meets Ocarina of Time. 88% positive from nearly 2,000 reviews. It came and went in 2016 without a ripple. Coming in at number 7, Secrets of Grindea. This one took 10 years to make. 10 years in early access, and Pixel Ferrets finally hit 1.0 in February 2024. At $14.99, you get a co-op action RPG for up to 4 players with gorgeous pixel art, tongue-in-cheek writing, and a combat system that goes surprisingly deep. Melee, magic, ranged, all viable, all customizable through a talent system that lets you specialize hard. Players with over 200 hours are still finding new things. The boss fights are challenging, the constant stream of enemies is satisfying to mow through, and the self-aware humor actually lands. One reviewer said it best: "Don't let the pixel graphics fool you, there's a surprising amount of depth." 89% positive from nearly 7,000 reviews. Perfect for couch co-op or online with friends. Number 6 is ICEY, $10.99. You're a cybernetic warrior carving through robots in gorgeous 2D side-scrolling combat. Fast, fluid, combo-heavy. Exactly what you want from a slasher at this price. But there's a narrator, and he has strong opinions about where you should go. Walk the wrong way, ignore his instructions, poke around a dead end, he'll react, he'll plead, he'll get annoyed. The meta-narrative layer turns every moment of disobedience into its own reward. The combat stays tight through multiple playthroughs, and the game encourages them. Different endings depending on how much you obey or rebel. Players call the concept a perfect blend of satisfying action and genuine surprise. 90% positive from nearly 25,000 reviews, and most Western players have never heard of it. $11, an absolute steal. At number 5, Hyper Light Drifter. $20 for one of the most visually striking action RPGs ever made. The entire story is told without a single word of dialogue. No text, No voice acting, just stunning pixel art, a haunting soundtrack, and a ruined world that rewards every inch of exploration. The combat is fast and precise. Dash, slash, shoot, chain it all together. Every encounter demands attention, and the difficulty respects your skill. Progression comes through upgrades found by exploring, and the world is dense with secrets. Hidden rooms, buried pathways, entire areas you'll miss if you're not looking. One player with 47 hours said, and I quote, "I effing love this game. Everything about it is so good, chef's kiss." 93% positive from nearly 15,000 reviews. Heart Machine poured everything into this, and you can feel it in every pixel. Number 4, Cat Quest, $12.99. Yes, it's a game about cats. Yes, it's full of cat puns. And it's one of the best pure action RPGs at this price point. The combat is deceptively satisfying. Dodge rolling, spell casting, reading enemy patterns. Once you slow down and stop rushing, it clicks hard. The open world is packed with dungeons, side quests, and a constant stream of loot. Weapons, armor, spells, all feeding into a progression loop that keeps pulling you forward. One player clocked 150 hours and said the official soundtrack made it into their Spotify Wrapped. That's commitment. Rock Paper Shotgun named it Indie Pick of the Week at launch, but it still flew under most people's radars. 94.7% positive from over 8,000 reviews. Real depth hiding behind the cutest exterior on this list. Number 3, Dust, an Elysian Tale. $14.99 for a hand-painted action RPG that one person made. One developer, Dean Dodrill, animated, programmed, and designed nearly the entire game himself. The result has a 95.2% rating from over 14,000 reviews. The combat is a spectacle. Aerial combos, ground slashes, and a signature dust storm ability that lets you juggle entire groups of enemies while your companion fidgets projectiles chain into devastating screen-filling attacks. It feels phenomenal. Progression layers in RPG leveling, crafting, and gear drops across a sprawling map full of side quests and hidden areas. One reviewer summed it up perfectly. "I can't think of any other game, new or old, that's quite like Dust." EGM gave it a 9 out of 10, Giant Bomb gave it a perfect 5, and most people scrolled right past it on the store page. At number 2, Bastion, $14.99. Supergiant Games' debut, the one that started everything before Hades took over the world. A reactive narrator voices over every single thing you do in real time. Every weapon you grab, every enemy you crush, every choice you make. Logan Cunningham's performance turns every moment into something cinematic, and you never get tired of hearing it. The combat gives you a deep weapon roster. Hammers, machetes, pistols, bows, each upgradable through a distillery system that shapes your build. The hand-painted world assembles beneath your feet as you walk, and Darren Korb's acoustic frontier soundtrack is one of the greatest in indie gaming. 95.3% positive from nearly 28,000 reviews. Players call it genuinely special and completely unlike anything else. If you played Hades but never went back to where Supergiant began, this is your wake-up call. And at number 1, Mountain Blade Warband, $20. 97.7% positive, over 133,000 reviews. The melee combat is weighty, directional, and deeply skill-based. You control every swing, every block, every mounted charge into a wall of infantry. Start as a nobody with a stick and a handful of peasants, and fight your way, battle by battle, village by village, into commanding an army powerful enough to siege castles and claim a throne. There's no scripted story telling you what to do. You trade, you fight, you join factions, you betray them. The progression is the story, and it's entirely yours. One player with over 3,200 hours said they first discovered it as a kid, taking turns with their cousin on the same campaign. 3,000 hours, and the modding community is massive. Total conversions turning it into everything from ancient Rome to Lord of the Rings. The graphics are basic, some mechanics show their age, but the feeling of building something from nothing? Pure, uncut gaming addiction. 15 years later, this game is still alive. $20. Go play it. That's the list. 10 hack-and-slash RPGs that Steam buried, all with killer ratings and combat that actually feels good. Links are in the description if any of these caught your eye. Drop a like if you found something new, and subscribe for more hidden gems. See you in the next one.